Good morning. Today is Sunday, September 1st, 2024, and this is the weekly Bitcoin price forecast. So, looking at where Bitcoin went in the past week and where it could potentially go in the future. So last week was overall down. Ended the month. Thought potentially that August could have ended on a positive note, but it didn't. It shot up, as we'll see on the weekly chart. It took a sharp shot to the upside and then ended up falling towards the end of the week, but that's fine. We're still in an area of consolidation at this point. As we see, stuff has started to fall in the monthly chart, as it has similarly in the past before it takes a major uptick. I'm still excited about it at this point, just because of the fact that you're going to see in the near future, especially in September, once rate cuts start to come into effect, you'll see that start to go to the upside. The market is about to flip to a risk on perspective from coming from pretty much a risk off perspective, because we've had these high interest rates for the past 2 years, really, and central banks around the world are now starting to cut rates, and that just adds more liquidity to the market. More money is available for people to interact with, especially the big banks. Yeah, and I mean, it allows them to do stuff at a cheaper rate than what they were available to do in the past. So again, price is pretty much kind of falling on the monthly chart, but again, this is the start of September. I suspect that this should be a positive month, and historically, actually, September is not the greatest month for Bitcoin. If you go back and look at it, I might be able to pull that chart up later, but last September ended up being positive. That was right here, I think. Yeah, last September it ended up being positive, and that was like the first time in quite a while. This is now, that was in pretty much a bear market. So we were in a kind of like the beginning stages of a bull market, late stage bear market for September last year, but now we're pretty much full blown in a bull market for this September. So I do expect that to be positive as well. Okay, let's look at the weekly chart. Kind of what I said. I mean, you've had this, we're still in the bull flag. Quite literally, we have been in a bull flag since March. And that's just a consolidation period. It's an up and down, up and down. So this past week pretty much canceled out last week. So it was a huge week to the upside, and now we are down at 58,000. Again, I told you that range of about 60,000 is very strong. It's very strong for Bitcoin and the broader crypto market, right? But you have to understand what's going on with Bitcoin to understand everything else. So we have come up and then dropped to this level. And that is pretty much in line with where we've been at the past like 4 weeks. So I'm not sure who was buying here at this point, but I mean, that could be I don't know. I really don't. So it's these two candles have pretty much canceled each other out on the weekly chart, but still stayed at this $60,000 level. So let's put the drawings on and see kind of where we're at. To me, you're very much so in the range of this bull flag. So it's not alarming, really. Once you get down to here, like here's the lower level of support, and we came down here. We came down here in the past and tapped this long-term support. We tapped the lower end of the bull flag. You tapped this moving average, and it couldn't stay there at all. It absolutely could not stay there. So that's why this is not concerning to me. It's like, oh man, this week is canceled out this week. Well, that's not a concern to me. Simply because we were so high above the moving averages. We're so far above the bottom of the channel here, and we're so far above this long-term support that, and then you still have these moving averages down here. So it's like, even if it gets back down to here, that's not a concern to me. Once you start breaking below here, it's like, oh my God, yeah, we may have to talk. But you see, it could only do a tap here. Like, and I'm talking about, it was here for probably about an hour or two. So, you know, if you were able to get into a trade right here, shout out to you, kudos for real. That is definitely something to look at. So anyway, in this bull flag, I don't think I have too much to talk about on the weekly chart, really. You go down to the daily chart and you see like that you had some sort of a wedge forming. The candle close right here. This is the one I was talking about that went down and tapped this. Actually, let's see how long that actually lasted. So that was 4 hours. That was a 4-hour candle. Let's zoom in here. I don't even think that stayed there for an hour. So that was an hourly candle. Yeah, you might have had a period of about 4 hours where you could have gotten into that trade, but you know, it changes from moment to moment. That was at the $50,000 level. You had about 4 hours to do that, so it wasn't that wasn't something that most people got into. Um, Again, the candles rose to the top here. Let's go back to the daily chart and make it a little bit less granular. You came to the top here, broke out of this channel. It's like, okay, well, maybe we may get to the upside. I'm not so sure that that happens. Maybe you still need more time for consolidation. But anyway, price came back down here. Price came back down to this level and just kind of stayed here for really the whole week. I mean, I'm looking at it right here. You came into the week with a sell-off. So Monday and Tuesday were big sell-off days, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're all here. And then Monday is a holiday too. So not going to be much movement. Not much movement last week, but I think you may going into September, especially as we head towards rate cuts. And I think September 18th is the date that these rate cuts actually drop, and we can look at that in the economic news forecast. But the day that those drop is around September 18th. It should be, I think, about 1 p.m. on September 18th. And then, like, at that point, the entire market gets to a risk-on perspective. So looking at the news this week, what's coming out, this is Sunday. Monday is Labor Day again. Manufacturing, that's nothing. Jobs opening. The big ones next week are going to be the non-farm employment change. So NFP, non-farm payroll, that'll come out at 7:30 a.m. Central Time on Friday. You have your unemployment rate on the same day. So they're projecting actually lower unemployment rate, which would be good for the economy. Non-farm employment change, what they're projecting is an uptick in that. But, jobs data is very fickle. It's very fickle at this point. I mean, I'm not sure what the actual numbers are and how they're tabulating it. But at this point, they are projecting better numbers than average over the next month, or what has been in the last month, I should say. What do we have? So this is a chart. I try to go over a chart every week, like a different chart. So this is your Bitcoin rainbow chart. It's basically a series of bands that kind of goes off of a logarithmic scale. As you can see, like this goes from 1, 10, 100, 1,000. So it's a factor of 10 on every one of these. So this is your logarithmic scale. It's not linear. So when you put something that's exponential in some type of logarithmic form, it ends up becoming more linear. That's some type of mathematical transformation that ends up happening. So if you apply that to Bitcoin, it starts to look like this, and it gets curved in this manner. And the farther you go up, the more severe it ends up getting, because again, this is going by a factor of 10. It's not going by 1. So on a linear scale, this distance right here is going to be much less than what it is on a logarithmic scale. So what you end up having, this is the first couple years of Bitcoin. So it's like 2011. You ended up shooting up here. That was a very explosive growth, and then you shot up here and here too. So currently, we're at this level. We're in the bottom edge of the channel pretty much. And to me, all that means is, okay, well, we only have room to go up. So let's say we get to yellow or red. If you get to yellow at this point, that puts Bitcoin at about 179,000, 200,000. 2025, that is late 2025. Yeah, if you get to late 2025 and the bull market's still going, and again, I'm thinking it's probably mid 2025, that puts Bitcoin at about 200,000, about 200 to 300,000 in that case. And my initial projection last year was 250,000. 250,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2025, somewhere before the end of 2025. At this point, I'm still not thinking that's unrealistic. I don't think that's unrealistic at all. Just because of the fact of there's been so many things when I made that projection that were not available at the time. I did not have the presidential endorsement of crypto. I did not have the BlackRock ETFs, not even the BlackRock ETFs, just the ETFs in general for Ethereum, for all these other ones. So basically, this is a channel. It's a projection, right? You never know how it's actually going to end up turning out, but I do believe that you could end up getting somewhere in this 250 range. 200 to 250. I think that should be reasonable, based on all the things that I see happening. This is the cycle where people saw what happened in 2021, and they are taking very much so a note of that. And I don't know. It's good. It's good. Like I don't really have too much to say until it actually breaks out and like we have some type of confirmation of this. We've been saying pretty much the same thing for about 5 months, but it's overall the sentiment is positive, even though price has not moved just yet. I've seen a lot of the movements in the political space, in the financial space, in the even social space. Like it is all changed for the positive over the past several months. So this is the time that you accumulate. This is the time that you buy up what you need. I take the past 5 months pretty much as a blessing, right? Because like you never know what the actual when stuff is going to take off, but you do know the overall trajectory at large. So that's pretty much it. I don't have too much to talk about. My thesis is that the overall projection is the overall direction is up, but we'll see when it happens. It happens, and we'll be happy when it happens. So. Again, this has been Chris Talks Crypto. Check out any crypto-based resources on christalkscrypto.com. Join the Pulse on Crypto Discord, and I will see y'all on the moon. Take care. Bye-bye. Have a good Labor Day. Happy long weekend. So take care. Bye-bye.